Austin, when you look at this one, you guys kept it between 7 and 10 all game long, eventually got it there to 5. What kind of kept you guys from getting over the hump down the stretch?
They did a good job offensive rebounding, and we did defensive rebounding. I think at one point in the third quarter, they had, I think, 14 offensive rebounds for like 25 points. So we did good on first shot defense, and then when you give them, second opportunities, they do a good job of getting offensive rebounds, spraying out to shooters, and making shots.
JJ mentioned it wasn't necessarily what they did, but you guys not being able to get to the proper spacing or spots within their coverages. How much of that obviously played a part in finding that rhythm, and what's the challenge of finding it when you need it late?
Yeah, I don't think it was a problem late. I think it was more so the first half. It was just a pretty bad stretch that we, just didn't play very good. We wasn't organized, and against a team like that, most of the time Reds 1 through 5 with that second unit, you had to be organized and run your stuff, and we just didn't do it.
What's been the biggest challenge when you guys have faced teams that switch everything for you guys?
Just trying to figure out what works for us. You see flashes of things we do that are good, and then we kind of experiment with some other stuff, and it doesn't look so good. And we just got to figure out what we, can do as a unit to, combat their, 1 through 5 Reds.
JJ mentioned that guys, just showed you guys film during halftime. What did you guys see or pick up on during halftime that helped you guys in the second half offensively against their switching?
We always watch film in half, a couple clips, like 7, 8 or so. Just things that we didn't do good, things that we did do good, and try to dissect the game halfway through it to give yourself a better chance in the second half.
I think what JJ told us was that kind of the goal here over these last couple weeks was to start building a playoff mindset where attention to detail ratchets up and those different types of things. Better in the second half, but disappointing, I would assume, that in the first half that you guys got so unorganized. What needs to get better on that front?
You're not ever going to play a perfect game. You wish you could, but I lost what I was going to say. What'd you ask again?
Just basically about, in terms of, knowing that you guys need to play more detail-oriented, attention to detail on basketball to then have a 7 or 8 minute stretch where it seemed like offensively you guys lost a lot of that.
It's frustrating, but, that's part of the process of, becoming, a really good team. You got to go through, those ups and down battles of going through situations where you have to figure it out. If everything was always, smooth sailing, if at any point in the future it doesn't get there, if it's, a little rocky, then you kind of don't know what to turn to. Once you go through things like this, you have to adapt and to adjust, and that's what we'll do. So we'll be better in the future.
Austin, you guys kept it between 7 and 10 all game long, eventually cut it to 5. What kept you from getting over the hump?
Shot making, offensive rebounding. They was making shots. Kaczynski had a big time game. Kuminga came in, gave him a big boost off the bench. Obviously, Steph does, but it's too many second chance points. Couldn't get over that hump, like you said.
Were you guys able to really find a rhythm and versus a team like this to not, if you weren't able to? What's the challenge of getting through that?
It's always a challenge anytime you play Golden State. It's been like that for the last over a decade. So probably since 2014, when they really started to get it going. So we know it's always a challenge against them and keep you off balance all game, and you just got to try to figure it out, which we did. We did offensively. We were really good, especially in the second half. We had 69 points in the second half. That was not the reason we won able to win.
There was that stretch at the end of the first, going into midway through the second, where I think you guys missed 13 or 14 shots. What were you seeing during that stretch from you guys offensively, and what did you guys correct in the second half?
No, we just missed. Sometimes it's a make or miss league. We was getting some really good looks. We just weren't able to make at that point in time, and they were able to make, and that's how they was able to build up that 13-point lead at half.
As you continue to work your way back after the absence from the groin, do you feel like the second half tonight was one of the kind of a segment of the game you can point to, like I feel like I did pre-Boston?
That was the best I felt before the injury, for sure. I just tried to press, get downhill. My rhythm, as far as my jump shot, felt pretty good today. Obviously, I've been shooting from the free throw line extremely well as of late, but it's probably the best physically I felt, so hopefully I can build off of that.
Do you have a plan yet for tomorrow at this point?
I would like to get a good night's rest first, hopefully. We'll figure that out tomorrow.
The way all these teams are so bunched in this playoff race, how difficult is each loss to take at this stage?
Well, you got to win. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to win every game. If you don't, I mean, listen, we put ourselves in a position where we can, move up at times, or stay where we at, or if we don't take care of business, it's gonna go down. I mean, it's bunched up like you just said. So every game matters. I mean, it should be that way. I mean, listen, it's 6 games left, 7 games left, or whatever it is. So that's good going down the stretch.
Knowing, assuming that you've watched what the Warriors have looked like with Jimmy Butler since the trade, but having seen it now for the first time played against it, what did you sort of make of what they put together over there, knowing that that's a team you could see in 2 weeks pretty easily?
I mean, I've been a part of them making big acquisitions to change their dynamic of their team before. And had to go against them when they added Kevin Durant. So, I mean, Jimmy Butler is great, and he adds a toughness to him. He adds a championship DNA type of guy. But it's always the same. They always figure it out. They always add somebody that makes it dynamic.
What's sort of the balance for you, Luka, and Austin, as good as you guys are in terms of freelance and getting kind of what you want to get through attack, one-on-one attacks versus like getting into more organized stuff? Like, where's that, I guess, on the process for you guys in terms of knowing what each other's going to do and when you're going to do it?
Well, I think the beauty of our game is not always knowing what we're going to do, in the sense of that's what makes us dynamic, us as individuals, being able to keep guys off balance, even keep your own teammates off balance sometimes, and it's always just stay ready. AR is great offensively. Obviously, the Don is great offensively. I can sprinkle in a little bit offensively as well from time to time, but, we understand that being organized is always is important, not just for us three, but it's for the other guys. It's for our guys. It's for, Dodo. It's for, Gabe and Jackson, Rui, Goody, Doe, everybody else. That's what the organization point is all about, because we can do what we do. We can freelance as much as we want, and still it looks great at times, So, but the organization has to be for the rest of the guys, and we understand that. We know that we got to put guys in a position to be successful.
You mentioned the Warriors have been tough since 2014. Draymond's been very outspoken about how much of a chance he believes that they have this year. Now that you've seen them up close with this version, how much of a formidable foe do you think they're going to be in the West from here on out the rest of this year?
I have no idea. I can't answer that question. I got to worry about us. I can't be worrying about other teams, and that ain't my job.
Hey, Rui, JJ mentioned that a portion of the first half, again, when Golden State was in the switches and you guys got a little bit stagnant. What do you think happened there, and why do you think that happens once in a while for you guys on the offensive end?
Yeah, I think, we had a good start. I think we scored 15 points in the first 5 minutes. And after that, we kind of was struggling. But I think it was because of our defense. We couldn't get stops. And they were getting all this second chance, the rebound, offensive rebound and stuff. So we weren't getting the rhythm, that was the problem. And the third quarter, we came back in the same way. But, they just didn't miss the shots, Pozinski, he made a lot of, big threes. He made 8 threes. Yeah, that's it's a tough one. And then we got almost 24 seconds, and Draymond make threes in the last second. It was a tough one for us, and that was a game.
I know you guys always approach it one game at a time, but this does make things just a little tighter in the West. Is there any additional urgency for the remaining games of the season, Rui?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's every game, especially all those last games. I think we have 7 or 6, whatever the games. They were against the West Coast team, West Conference team. So we gotta get all this, and literally every game we change. It's just standings that are changing. So yeah, every game is important. Next game, and yeah, we just gotta get all this and then get ready for the playoffs.
Rui, the offense has struggled for stretches the last 2 games. Is that a byproduct of the opponent, or has it been struggles from within?
I mean, I think the teams start kind of, we watching, they're watching films, they see a lot of, they try a lot of things with us, and they see our switching, they're basically 1-5 switching. And I think they kind of saw that was the, they can kind of have a chance. They have a chance to kind of close our offense. So we've been working on that, and we watch a lot of films. And today was okay. We did a pretty good job on that. But I think we have a lot of space to improve. Our offense. So we gotta watch the film and then come back for the next game or whatever the futures game.
Hey Rui, for you personally though, it was your best offensive game since you came back from the injury. It's also the most minutes you've played since then. Are you starting to feel like you're getting back into a rhythm?
Yeah, for sure. I think with my knee too. I'm still recovering from it too, and yeah, it's a minutes and have a different lineup, different sobbing in and out. So I think I'm trying to get it, to my rhythm. Yeah, for sure today was I had a pretty good start, and yeah, I think down the stretch, there's a lot of times that wide open, the shots, of course, playing with LeBron and Luka, they got a lot of tension. So I had to knock down those easy shots. So yeah, I think I gotta just keep doing what I've been doing and get back to my rhythm.
八村選手どうもお疲れ様です。制限時間は今どれくらいなんですか
？30分ですね。
30分でまだ痛みを抱えたままのプレーっていう感じです。
そうですね。
その制限時間の中で今すごくシーズンも差し迫っているところですけれども、どんなふうに力を出そうと思って。
そうですね。自分でできる限りの。こうやってあと6試合があると思うんですけど、その中で1試合が大事なので、そこはしっかりと僕もそうですし含めてチームとしても分かっているので、そこはしっかり試合勝っていきたいな、プレーオフに向けて勝っていきたいなと思いますね。
膝の状態だけじゃなくてコンディショニングも取り戻さなきゃいけないっていうふうに言ってましたけれども、その辺はどれぐらいまで戻ってきてますか？
そうですね。今日が一番試合風邪じゃないです。怪我の後に一番プレーしたと思うんですけど、やっぱり僕のコンディションもまだ戻ってないと思ってるので、そこはしっかりとこれから直していきたいなと思います。
Rui, just one more. Was Austin, I think, had 9 threes tonight, and just over the last 3 years now you've been here, how have you seen him grow, to the point where a night like tonight is not a surprise to you?
No, I like his confidence, his aggressiveness, all that. We need him, playing like that. Of course, being aggressive. I think he's playing very free right now, and we love it. So yeah, I just want him to keep going.
Did you see that? Like when you first got here, do you feel like he's gotten a lot better?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. First time I got here, I didn't know him, But I think he was injured, and the first game back against Milwaukee or something, that was the first time I seen him, and I was like, oh, yeah. So yeah, he's got it. So yeah, I think from since then, like literally. He's just going every game, every year, so yeah, it's fun to watch, play with him, yeah.
Thanks, Roy. Hey, Luka, there was a several-minute stretch kind of late in the first, around the second quarter, where you guys were struggling to score, and it looked like a lot of it was against their switches, and we had part of this conversation before. What did you see from Golden State, and what did you feel like you guys maybe weren't doing that you then cleaned up in the second half?
I think they were playing good defense. I think we didn't play with enough trust. Especially me, so that performance for me is unacceptable, When I play like that, it makes for the team harder to win, so just gotta figure that out.
Luka, when you guys have made the push to cut it to 5 in the fourth, what do you think the difference was there that you weren't able to fully make the comeback?
I think we're playing with a lot of pace, causing confusion on defensive end, slips, sometimes set it, sometimes slip it. So just making a lot of confusion with the switches, and that's how we scored 116 points.
Luka, we saw at the end of the Houston game, you took kind of a hard fall on your elbow, taped up today. It was wrapped up pretty big post-game the other night. How's that?
It's fine. It's my left hand, so it's fine. I was shooting with the right. Look like left toe.
And then, you haven't had many nights where like you said, the performance is unacceptable. When you're out there and you're searching for momentum and rhythm, I guess, how frustrated were you in the moment, and did you feel like it took you out of some stuff tonight?
I mean, very. It's always frustrating when you can, help your team like that. But I think it's not always about scoring. You can do some other stuff on the court, assists, rebound, defense, all of that. So, trying to help in other ways.
When speaking with JJ, he mentioned that during when you guys went through the offensive lull, some of it was due to not being as organized as you could be. Some guys not being in the right spots. When speaking with LeBron, he mentioned that the organization versus freelance is not just important for the team, but more so the guys like Dorian, Gabe. They feed off of the organization that you guys can create, advantages you guys create. What needs to happen, or I guess who is it on for that organization to be there for a full 48 minutes and to not go through that kind of lull where it's not there?
I mean, it's a little bit on everybody, coaches, me as a point guard, I need to get everybody in their spots. So, being organized is very important for us. I think especially because of spacing that we have. And when we have good spacing, we're very tough to guard.
Hey, Luka, over here. What do you think how important it is to have such a kind of a game now and to be prepared in this kind of situation in the playoffs?
Yeah, it obviously felt like a playoff game. Obviously Warriors, since, they acquired Jimmy, they've been playing unbelievable. So it was kind of playoff game. And now we see what kind of team they are. So maybe we can meet them, maybe not in the playoffs. So we just need to be more ready.
JJ, after what seemed like a pretty good first 5-6 minutes in terms of shot quality, what did you see from kind of midway through the first through the rest of the half defensively, and how what your team was doing against it?
I thought our first shot defense was great throughout the first half. They had 7 offensive rebounds for 12 points in the second quarter. We couldn't score for 6.5 minutes, and I think not surprised that they, switched everything. We expected that. We scored 69 points in the second half against the same defense. I think we just got a little stagnant and didn't want to move. And you got to move. You got to play with force. You got to get to the next thing. Sometimes, and you'll have to ask the guys this. I think sometimes, the expenditure of energy on one end, and you don't have it for the other end. I thought our guys were playing hard on defense in the first half, and then just the second opportunities, and that continued. During our comeback, there were a number of possessions where got to stop, but they ended up getting an offensive rebound and end up scoring on it, or there's a loose ball, they get the loose ball. There was a few plays there. The 88-80 to start the fourth, and we get 2 wide open threes, and maybe that's a momentum change. We just the big momentum changing sort of stretch we just couldn't muster, and a lot of that had to do with just the second opportunities.
JJ, Luka just 6 for 17 tonight, and then defensively it felt like they were targeting him a lot in pick and rolls, and even when you guys would maybe put him on someone else, they'd find a way to bring him into the action. What did you make of his night on both sides?
Wasn't his night.
JJ, in the first half when you guys weren't scoring, it seemed like a lot of that was missed threes, but it was like your shot profile seemed to change. Like I want to say like 8 and 9 foot twos, stuff like that. Like, what were they doing on that? Was that anything?
It was not what they were doing. It was what we were doing, and we showed them at halftime. The spacing, alignments, and having the wrong guy in the dunker spot, the wrong guy in the corner. It's not. Again, the structure of what we were trying to do against Reds and what every team tries to do against Reds is create the proper spacing and create the proper next guy and create the proper guys in the corners, and we just didn't have that. And you end up with turnovers and you end up with a bunch of non-rim twos.
Is that disappointing considering kind of the mentality that you would kind of ask your team to have in terms of like, we need to build playoff mentality now, and that's focus and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we're still building it. We're not there.
You mentioned weeks ago, don't remember how long ago, but you mentioned that before the trade in February, you guys were really good against switching. Then you guys went through maybe a little bit of a lull against it. Were you surprised by how much you guys struggled against their switching, at least early on, before you guys seemed to recover and had the second half you did have offensively?
Not surprised. I wouldn't say surprised.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.